And welcome back to Fox 5's On the Hill Live this Sunday morning. You know, as we've been saying, President Biden's going to deliver a State of the Union speech on Tuesday. This comes, though, as the country's divisions are evident in Congress, with a Republican-controlled House, a Democratic-controlled Senate. The economy right now coping with inflation. These tensions with China and Russia remain high. And for more on this, we want to turn to Maryland U.S. Senator Democrat Ben Cardin is kind enough to join us here on the Hill. Good to see you again, Senator. I got to start with this China balloon story. Senator, you're on the Foreign Relations Committee. What is China thinking with this?
Well, Tom, first of all, it's good to be with you. Clearly China is testing us. We recognize that. That's why our defense of Ukraine is so important. They're watching as to how we help Ukraine against the aggression of Russia. They're sending these balloons all over the world to gather intelligence information or just general knowledge, or to see how we react to the balloon incursion into our space. We were able to protect ourselves against any intrusion of sensitive information, but it's something that cannot be allowed to continue. And President Biden did the right thing in bringing it down.
I want to ask you about that because some Republicans were saying earlier in the week that it should have been taken down before when it was. Did the president make the right call with the military? He had said himself that he wanted it shot down on Wednesday, but he held off because Defense Department officials advised him to wait.
It's my understanding that we were able to prevent the balloon from gathering any sensitive information while it was over our territory. We took it down. We'll now get some information from the remains. We did it where it was safe, where there was no risk factor of human loss. If the balloon was so high in the air and its trajectory to the earth so uncertain, it was a high risk that it could have caused damage here on Earth and caused casualties. What
kind of response needs to be sent to China beyond just a stern talking to and a finger wagging here, Senator, because this is a violation of U.S. territory?
Well, this is just the latest. I mean, China has been doing things to our economy. They steal our intellectual property. They are harassing Taiwan. They are rights of its own citizens. I think we put China on notice. Clearly, China is our greatest global threat. Well, right now, of course, Russia, with its incursions into Ukraine, has most of our attention, but we can't lose our attention against China. They want to control the economic future of the globe,
right,
through government-controlled economies. We got to make sure that doesn't happen.
Senator, I want to talk to you about the State of the Union. Your guest that night is going to be the brand new governor of the state of Maryland, Wes Moore. You know, the president has some good economic data to talk about in this state unit. On the jobs front, inflation is coming down, but it's not coming down fast enough that some people say they are not still in pain right now. How do you want to see the president walk this balancing act between highlighting what the White House sees as good economic news, but yet acknowledging that people are still hurting out there?
Tom, you're exactly right. We do have good news with the job reports and how our economy is performing based on the global economic challenges. But inflation is still with us. We have a supply chain problem because of autocratic governments around the world. We have an energy concern on inflation due to the war in Ukraine. So middle-income families are hurting. So the president needs to acknowledge that we have concerns that have to be met. Middle-income families are having problems affording health care, affording housing. We have the shortage of affordable housing in this country. And then we saw the systemic challenges we have in law enforcement with Tyre Nichols. So the president needs to acknowledge that we still have a way to go to make sure that we deal with the concerns of inflation, as well as the concerns of public safety and confidence in our communities.
Senator, you mentioned Tyre Nichols. There were two versions of police reform bills that were making their way through Congress previously. One, the George Floyd Justice Act, another one by Republican Senator Tim Scott. Those efforts, by and large, kind of fell by the wayside. There has been a new call right now for Congress to get back together and try to work out some kind of bipartisan legislation on police reform. Will those efforts get anywhere?
I certainly hope so. We showed in the last Congress with the passage of the Safer Communities Act that we could pass at least some legislation in regards to gun safety and to deal with the behavioral issues within our school system. I hope that we can find a compromise. It won't be as strong a bill as I would like to see, knowing the politics in Washington. But I do think there is progress that we can make in regards to ending racial profiling, discriminatory profiling, in dealing with police training and accountability. I certainly hope that we can get something done.
President met with Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, this week. We imagined debt ceiling was on the tablet of things for them to talk about. Are we going to get a deal on this soon?
Tom, this is somewhat ridiculous. We're talking about paying the bills for the spending we've already made. We've already incurred these costs. This isn't about spending. This is about paying our bills, and we need to pay our bills. We're going to have plenty of opportunity to debate next year's budget. The Republicans control the House. We can't spend any money after October 1 unless we can get a bill passed by both the House and Senate and signed by the president. So there's ample opportunity for us to debate how we can deal with the debt moving forward.
Right.
Let's make sure we pay our bills. U.S.
Senator Ben Cardin joins us this morning. Senator, we appreciate your time. It was good to talk to you once again.
Thanks, Tom.